excited about it. Don't be as excited.
Whoa, yeah, we're at the beginning of the podcast. Ooh, so this is the
WerePanda
Podcast.
Featuring
Daniel,
Levi,
Alan.
Aaron.
and Kylie.
Woohoo!
No, it's a man.
Are we so
So
never mind. No, that's fine. That's
wait,
fine.
what were you gonna say, Alan?
I was just gonna say so Kylie's a regular member now to the podcast, so
Yeah,
Aaron
we're
may never be able
featuring.
to say "and" anymore.
Unless I
is it really
sit on that
featuring?
side.
Well, I guess all of us are featured.
Well, we need
Yeah.
to
That's why
say
you're doing that,
featuring.
yeah.
Plus, we need.
I
she
added
needs to
it
say
so that
something.
she had something to say. Not
Unless
in a nice way. in a
unless
nice way.
we want to go
Besides that, stay
WerePanda
quiet.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Daniel.
No, I like WerePanda. This is the WerePanda Podcast. I like featuring. I think it works.
We could change it to like starring. If you don't like featuring.
No, I'm fine with featuring.
No, I don't.
Featuring wasn't my thing. I don't know why featuring came up.
There
I
are
forget.
synonyms.
I just don't like the word feet.
You wouldn't.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, it really does. Aaron has foot problems.
Aaron has lots of problems.
I do.
Let's be honest here.
That was one of them, though.
Sad.
He hated feet
I did.
like so much.
Are we
They're
really starting
ugly.
the podcast with this?
Because they're ugly, Alan. Especially yours.
It's weird that
Wow.
you know how my feet look, Aaron.
Shout out.
I know how they look because I know all feet are.
So what's new with everyone? I guess good
It's
news
been a
is
while.
yeah, it's been a while, but the good news is we found a house that's gonna be the perfect spot for setting up the company. So that'll be really cool. You'll probably see some videos and pictures of it soon once we, get into it. But hey,
There it
nice.
is.
It's nice to have a house.
It's nice to have a base of operations. So
Yeah.
you can drive somewhere every Sunday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're all so
I don't have to drive
separated.
anywhere.
Yeah, you guys don't. I do. Every Sunday.
I'd feel worse about it if they weren't kind of close. It's not like they're super far away.
Yeah, but I don't have any of my
Yeah, but-
stuff here. I have to drive.
It's like
You
you're going to
know.
work.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone else gets to just enjoy it.
Just to
but-
be here. I wake up in the morning. I'm like, oh hey, are we working?
Exactly. I
Alright.
have to wake up early and get ready to go and then come over. I can't just show up.
You
Well,
could.
you could
Just
show
don't.
up.
Yeah, but I would look terrible, and that's just not acceptable unless you're in your own home, which is what we will have.
That's true. It actually looks pretty nice, I guess, from the pictures that I've seen. I wasn't there in person.
It
Y'all were.
the best house I've ever seen.
I wouldn't go that
Huh.
far. It was
Wow.
nice.
I don't know.
But the
Nice house.
It had potential.
the
I
house that
liked
we didn't end up getting, that was really nice because it dropped out of the market after a few
Yeah,
days.
but
That would
as much as I liked that one, it was just a big house,
Yeah, but we didn't even get a chance to look at it. We don't even know.
You don't even know, Dan.
You don't even know.
It looked cool. It looked nice and everything like that. But this is the one I've had my.
It
eye
had
on
6
for
rooms.
months. I've had. What do we need 6 rooms
We
for?
could make an extra room like a sound room or
Like
a
the
We have an
specific
extra
room.
room for a
We
sound
have
room.
that, Alan.
No,
You
I'm
need a
just
lot of
saying.
space.
I'm just saying. It had 6 rooms. It had a lot of space. Had 2 kitchens.
Yeah, but
Ooh, 2 kitchens.
yeah.
Dang, that house. No wonder it got off the market right
Yeah,
away.
it was beautiful and it was in a great area.
it was in an okay area.
We didn't really have two kitchens though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a place for the fridge.
the second kitchen
Yeah,
was just
but-
like a.
Yeah, but
It had a sink, didn't it? And countertops.
Oh, so a sink and countertops. Well, this
You
place
needed,
has
like, a
2
hot
kitchens,
plate
Alan.
and a refrigerator.
One's just next to a toilet. That's a counter and a sink. Those were your specifications for the kitchen.
I'm sure it had a stove as well.
I don't
I'm
think
gonna-
it did, actually.
I'm gonna walk into the bathroom one day and just see Alan eating off the sink and
dude.
Rinsing vegetables
Yeah.
through a strainer underneath the bathroom sink.
I mean, that wouldn't be necessarily a problem. What if the sink upstairs isn't working? or
So he's already.
I
thinking
think-
about
He's
it.
already going with his excuses.
I think you can think of something.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm excited. It was. I've been watching this house for months. I'm not even joking. Like since it came on the market.
You're joking.
I'm not joking.
oh my gosh, Daniel, this is hilarious.
Well,
It'll
why
be
don't
good.
You say something,
So
Ella?
we're gonna start getting some really looking into it and starting to move ourselves into it as well, and so.
And
do some
then
good stuff.
once we're all together and have more time to actually do WerePanda stuff,
We'll start doing
we'll be able
WerePanda
to
stuff.
do more WerePanda stuff. It'll be nice. You know.
What is WerePanda stuff?
Well, I was thinking things like, stuff that WerePanda.
Is it like going
do.
and drinking from a pond or other stuff?
Sure. Yeah.
We'll
You
start
could
eating
include
bamboo
that.
shoots.
Yeah.
Taking tours of Asian zoos.
It was funny because we got to the house and everything, and we were a little early.
We were 7 minutes early.
7 minutes. Well, no, we got there about 15 minutes early, but we waited in the car for a good 8 minutes and everything because we were there early and everything. And so after a while, I got sick of being in the car, so I was like, hey, you guys want to go just maybe look around the yard since we can just kind of do that and everything like that?
We were waiting for our agent with the key.
And so, they were like, yeah, sure, that sounds good and everything. So, we get out of the car and we're kind of looking around and, the inside of the house doesn't look like it's occupied or anything. Nobody's in there. And then we're going around back and we're looking around back and
was someone
everything.
there.
And,
Oh my gosh.
and we were just there, and I had the camera. I was taking
Oh my
pictures
gosh.
and video and everything like that.
Creeper.
And then Aaron all of a sudden,
I turn around and then just out of the corner of my eye, I see everyone in the house just flipping out, and
Like the kitchen windows were
'cause
open,
the
the
kit-
curtains
yeah.
were open, and they all were looking
and
at us.
they
We were looking at
saw
them.
us, and it was almost like we were hunters, hunting them, because they started running for the door or whatever on the opposite side of the house, and so we're like,
Oh
oh,
my
that's
gosh.
kind of weird,
Yeah,
that they would have that reaction. So we walked back around, and they're like, oh, we're on our way out.
Yeah,
Do you want us to keep the door unlocked? I didn't know you were gonna be this early.
I didn't know.
Oh
He literally
my
said,
gosh.
We were like-
I didn't know you were going to be 7 minutes early.
Like literally?
Yeah, he literally said,
he said
we
that.
didn't know you'd be
7 minutes early. And
it
so-
made such a huge
And so
difference.
I'm already feeling a little awkward because I didn't expect anyone to be home,
Yeah.
I understand our appointment was at 5:30 and we were looking at 5:23, but if you set an appointment at 5:30,
you should be 10,
be
15 minutes
yeah,
early to your
early.
appointments.
Exactly.
I know we're in
And-
Utah, but
And if I was showing a house
It is
and,
a missionary
and they
house.
said they were going to be here at 5:30, I would leave at
was
5.
there family there, or was it the missionaries?
It was just
Two
full. It was,
missionaries.
yeah.
It's where the missionaries live.
Okay.
So it's a bunch of missionaries
Yeah.
Oh
who
my
live together.
gosh.
We assumed the paperwork said that the people who owned it lived there, so I'm assuming that the married couple who owned the house lived there and then just rent the basement or let the basement be used for the missionaries and everything like that.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I
that's so funny.
I was just hilarious, and so I felt super awkward. But we're like, yeah, just leave the door open so we can go check around. Our agent's on the way and everything like that. So we went in and everything. But I like I said, if you schedule something at 5:30, maybe leave the house at 5, so that by the
Even
time
well,
Or
even
not
so,
complain when it's 5:23.
23.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's kind
it's
of
a good thing to be early to things because
Yeah.
you never know what could happen, and so
I like being early,
expect people to be a little early. I mean, what you just expected them to be there exactly at 5:30, especially it's not like you guys were walking into the house at that time either. You're walking into the backyard, and then they're
But still, that's
jumping
kinda
out like
creepy.
they're crazy people. I just don't understand why they did that. It's they could have just said, "Oh, sorry, didn't realize you guys would be here early," and do you need us to go, or are you guys? And we could have just said no. We're just looking around the house or the.
Well, yeah, and they
Lawn
were
and
just
that would be
everything.
normal.
they were like ready to go and everything like that. Like they felt like they needed to be gone while we looked at the house. I wouldn't have cared if they had hung around or anything like that.
Yeah, which is funny because
Which we
that's
had
what
to
our
do.
the house this morning was like.
Oh my god.
They were still there this morning.
Yeah.
We went there and we get
Went to
there.
a different
It was a
house.
different
Yeah.
house, but we get there and we hear voices inside. So we knock to be courteous, or Elizabeth rang the doorbell.
We're gonna repeat last time.
Yeah,
And we-
did start looking.
There was
around.
also the possibility that it was another group of people viewing the house
Oh,
because they
yeah.
only
They
take
only take
appointments 9 to noon.
9 to noon
Yeah,
on
okay.
Sundays. That's the only time you could go and see this house. And so we ring the doorbell and no one answers. We waited for maybe a couple minutes, and then Elizabeth rang the doorbell again, and some guy, he
In
must have.
PJs.
PJs. He must have just gotten up and everything. Opens the door and we're like, we're here to see the house. And he's like, I didn't know anybody was coming to see the house today. And so he's
Oh
there,
my
obviously
gosh.
with either his kids or some, but there were a couple kids there too
Yep.
and everything like that.
The girl was in her pajamas and a robe, and the boy was
The boy
wearing
was, like,
boxers
Yeah.
and no shirt.
And that's
Oh my
That was it.
gosh.
And so, of course, it's me, Alan,
Kylie.
Elizabeth, and Kylie.
Mhm.
And we get in there and we start looking around, and Aaron pulls up.
I show up a little late, and all I can see is their car, and it's parked over at the next house.
Mhm.
But this house had the sign, and so I'm like, okay, this must be the house. I didn't even check the address. I was like, it has the sign.
Must be it.
And
Yeah.
so
So you just walk
there's this
in.
cat. There's this cat walking around the yard, and I'm like, that's kind of weird, but it was just a house cat. And so I go straight to the door and I open it up, and I just look in, and I just see this naked boy
Oh
in his
my
boxers
gosh.
jumping around, and the girl and the dad or whatever in PJs, and so I was just I didn't even say anything because
Just close the door.
I just closed the door my bad.
And then he texts me. It's like, he's
where are
like,
you guys at?
yeah, where are you guys at? And so I text him, or I send Elizabeth up to go and get him and everything like that. But he totally thought he had just
Walked
walked
into
into
the
some
house.
random person's house and
That's a
everything.
beanie.
It was just
That's so
Well, it's not
just
breaking.
I broke their hearts.
Yeah, that was weird though. It was weird. I felt really awkward looking through that house because
Yeah.
it was not presentable at all. I don't know what they're doing with it right now, but if they're trying to sell it, it's probably not.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but walking down the stairs, the whole the
Yeah,
banister was
yeah.
bent and there's
Yeah.
stuff on the wall.
it was all broken. over
Yeah,
Why
there.
didn't you tell me that when you were? Well, you guys didn't really
We
explain
didn't
this house
explain
to
the
me.
Mayan one yet.
You guys were just kind of yeah, we're done.
Yeah,
This isn't.
I mean, I'm telling you, that Taylorsville house is just, like I said, it's
Mhm.
not perfect, but it's perfect for us. you
Well,
know?
and so you said the Riverton had a lot more square footage. Do you
I
think
mean, not a lot more.
Well, it's so weird because
Yeah, it had 700 square feet more.
That's a
than the
lot.
Taylorsville.
well, and so
That's the garage. The garage was 700 square feet.
no, I know, but so think about it this way: the yard was smaller in that Riverton one. There's no
That's the
yard.
HOA.
Yeah, so the house should have been a lot bigger, but the house seemed so small to me.
Yeah.
It didn't seem that big
Well,
at
and
all.
you know what? Sometimes people aren't sure about the square footage and they put it in. You have to get that verified. And so maybe the Taylorsville house is bigger than what they're listing, or maybe the Riverton house is smaller than what they're listing. You never know. But
Yeah,
I
I love how we don't even talk about the West Jordan one.
the West Jordan one was nice, but so it had that huge basement. And as nice as that huge open area in the basement was,
It was
it really
unnecessary.
was just a waste of space. And that's why that house had so much square footage.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying the rooms are super small.
They were super small.
But
They were tiny.
They were smaller than all of the other
They're
rooms
smaller
in
than
all the
Levi's
other
current
house.
room, and his room's pretty small.
I wouldn't say
I don't think
smaller
it's
than
smaller.
Levi's room.
I think they were. Levi
They were
might.
comparable to his room.
I'm
I've
not
always
saying.
lived in small rooms, so I don't know what
You'll
bigger
have
would be
it.
like.
You'll have a nice one anyway.
That's what she said.
So, but yeah. So that's the house hunt for you. We'll get. It's gonna be cool. I mean, it's a
That'll be
nice house.
Did I tell you guys about the survey regarding Facebook and internet usage
No.
thing? Okay, funniest thing. So.
I'm sorry. What was your story?
Okay, so these researchers were just doing a study on internet usage and everything for a variety of reasons. They're just testing things out, and they found a really strange thing that whenever they asked questions, they would ask like, "Do you use the internet?" But then they would also ask the question, "Do you use Facebook?" And they found
People don't
that
consider Facebook
Yeah.
internet.
they found like maybe like 30% more people said yes they use Facebook than people said use the internet. So it should be that the internet is higher than
Yeah.
Facebook usage, because anyone who uses Facebook uses actually use the internet, but not the other way around. And so apparently a lot of people just don't realize Facebook is the internet. Like they don't realize that's
Yeah.
part of the internet.
Stupid people.
Yeah.
How do you not know that?
I don't know. Like, I just couldn't fathom that. Like, what is it to you then?
Magical Facebook phase.
Yeah.
In
How
my
do you
phone.
get
Know what my friends
all
are
of those?
thinking.
Yeah.
Well, I don't access the internet for that. I just go through the app.
Yeah.
Which exactly is connected to. Can you use it without Wi-Fi or
Yeah.
data?
No.
Exactly.
Winged
I know.
fairies,
I'm a tech.
Wi-Fi.
But that's just the dumbest thing I've ever
I
heard.
can use it if it's already downloaded.
Yeah, Alan. What about
So,
that?
like
I don't
that.
have to be on the internet or
I
data.
have someone else do it for me.
Anyone listening to this that was on that thought, I'm sorry, but I think you're dumb.
Yeah,
You
read
just alienated half our
I
listeners.
did, but you're dumb. How can you?
the half that doesn't go
You
on the
can't
internet. I
live
guess
in
though.
the-
I guess they don't use the internet though, so it's not like they'd be listening to us.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So, like a couple weeks ago, since it's been a while for the podcast, Kylie and I went down to Hatchet.
Georgia.
And everything. Georgia.
Looking for
Sold the
sold
steal.
steal.
You were in a bind because you were way behind. You're willing to make a deal.
I don't understand how the devil could be in a bind. Like, doesn't he set his own hours?
He has a quota, Daniel.
Really?
Yeah,
Like,
like all
like a
the-
police officer.
Yeah.
It was the end of the month.
Yeah.
He needed one more.
So, but anyways, we went down to Hatch, which is, just kind of like
Middle of nowhere.
middle of nowhere, but fun, everything like that.
Butt fun.
Yeah. You know all
A
about
lot
that,
of butt
wouldn't
fun.
you, Levi?
It's funny how inflection changes things.
Anyway, I just have a couple funny stories from that I just thought were really funny.
Are they
So,
butt funny?
you tell me,
Do
Alex.
they involve aliens?
What does? What actually has alien stories?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll start with that one then. We'll start with that
Thanks,
one. I went rabbit hunting one of the nights there, and what we do is we get a truck, and then there's
The bed of a
of a truck, and there's a kind of a dirt path through the forest and mountain area. There's a bunch of jackrabbits who are kind of like a pest in the area, so they go around and they kind of take about. Well,
They kind of shoot them in the face.
yeah. We didn't find any rabbits that night, but we went around and we got a few shots on a mouse. We killed a mouse. That was
Wow.
a really good shot. First shot, Colston managed to hit the mouse. It was pretty good. It stood up and then fell over.
There's some listeners are like, oh, and then you're explaining how you destroyed its life.
It was just a little vermin. It happens. I didn't kill a domesticated animal. But
Whiskers. Someone goes out later that night.
no, it was so far out in the middle of nowhere that if they had lost Whiskers, they had lost Whiskers. But
Mouse wasn't coming back alive or dead.
yeah.
All right.
But it's really...
I know how that is. I used to go rabbit shooting down
Yeah,
in
yeah, it's-
Cedar City all
Yeah,
the time.
exactly. It's that
So,
area.
I
you
know that, yeah.
But
Definite overpopulation needs to be controlled.
there's no lights, they don't have any, like a lot of lights like in the city and everything like that. So you can see the sky very, very well. And so I took the opportunity during rabbit hunting to look for aliens because it's out in the middle of nowhere.
It's a
It's not
hobby.
near an airport, and maybe not aliens per se, but UFOs. And I didn't see any. It was just a shame.
No, like they don't exist or something.
They exist, Levi. We saw one. It's been on the podcast.
Really?
We-
You've seen one?
I've
You-
seen a UFO.
Yet
I've
somehow you can't remember what happened 10 minutes after that.
seen... I never said I couldn't remember that. But let's see, what else do I got? Okay, this one's the funniest story out of all of them. So we were getting ready. Kylie and I were getting ready to go on a just kind of a 4-wheeler trip up a canyon and everything like that. It's just gonna be me and her and everything, and it was gonna be kind of later on in the night. So we were packing like food and water and like a blanket just in case for like survival and everything like that. And I was like, don't worry, if something happens, we crash, I'll totally make fire,
Like Castaway
like
style.
Castaway style.
I like how
and
that
everything
has to
like
be,
that.
like, you're in it. Kylie doesn't say one thing about being scared, but you turn and, don't worry.
Yeah,
If we get
that's exactly
stranded,
how it went down.
That's not even it.
it's almost like you
because
have to validate out loud for yourself. I'm scared, but I can do this.
But that's not even the best part, because then Kylie goes on and Kylie's like, well, that's not actually a really good way to make fire. I mean, you need
Because
to...
it stabbed his
Because it
hand.
stabbed his hand, everything like that. What you need is like the bow kind of spinning thing to create friction and everything like that. And I'm like, well, I just don't like that way. It just never worked for me and everything like that. And so I was also holding my pocket watch, and they're like, well, we could always angle the
Use the
lens
pocket
in your
watch
pocket
lens.
watch to light something on fire and everything like that. And we're just like, we just came up with a whole bunch of ideas for fire and everything like that. And so we went out on our trip, nice secluded area up in the mountains. It was so quiet that you could hear your echo when you yell, but it was just like...
Well, it wasn't even like when we were yelling. When we were normally talking,
Okay, you could hear
the
echo
canyon
just
was
from
so
talking. Yeah.
quiet.
And like we stopped talking for like 5 minutes and just sat there, and I don't think I've ever experienced anything so quiet, like no wind, anything. It was crazy.
Wow. That's
But-
pretty cool.
usually when that happens, something bad happens afterward.
Usually. But that's not even the funny part of the story. So we get back and everything went okay, and so we're just hanging out and everything, and I pull out my lighter and light it for fun and everything.
Like, it's just a nervous habit. He
It was
reaches
just
in his pocket and starts flicking his
and
lighter.
everything like that. And I realized I went through Castaway fire, bow fire, lighting,
Magnifying
magnifying
glass.
glass fire without remembering that I have a lighter in my pocket that could have easily set fire to anything and
Wow.
provided us fire and everything. And I was at that point that I realized I
I'm an
could
idiot.
not survive out in the wild. I would be going and trying to do the hardest possible thing while a lighter is in my pocket.
You're like taking a rock and you're trying to cut through something, and then you're like, screw this, I need to sharpen this. Pull out your pocket knife and start sharpening the rock.
I have like that credit card knife, and I would like try chipping away at a rock to make a thing, and then I'd be like,
To make like a point.
yeah, and I'd be like, this isn't gonna work, and pull up my credit card thing and be like, damn it.
I could just see it as a moment of like frustration. You're like, we're gonna die, and then you hug Kylie, and she's like, wait, what's that?
What's
What's
that?
that?
in your
Pocket?
pocket?
Is that
Oh,
a
that's
lighter?
That's just the lighter we got. Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I can't believe that just happened. But the last kind of funny thing that happened there was we went to a mountain to find
A what?
Mountain.
Okay.
A mountain.
Mountain.
A mountain. A mountain.
mountain. I
It's
said
a mutton.
Mountain.
Mutton.
A
After
mutton.
just like a little spin-off. After going to Hatch, my family talks like Southern Utah speech. And so when I go down there, I adopt it too.
Yes.
And so go to the mountain and cross the creek on our 4-wheelers.
Ew.
Stop it!
Oh,
Stop it now! My ears
What
are
the
bleeding.
heck was that?
Yep.
It's awful.
It's funny
I have to
'cause
catch
I
myself
love
because
her.
I'll do it.
I don't like
Ugh.
that, but I am totally fine with people saying I struggle, cross the street, like
Wait, what?
What?
Southern, actual Southern.
That sounds horrible.
Ask you, I want to ask you a question.
Axe you.
Fixing to
They
do this.
really say that?
Oh yeah, they really
Oh,
say
man,
that.
that'd
That's
be
not
good.
just a funny little thing. That's because people actually know that that's how you say it.
Huh.
That's not really how you say it, but that's how
they
most
say
people
it.
say it down there.
Okay. Well,
Anyways, back to the
back to the story.
mountain.
We were on a mountain looking for a rock called agate. It was just kind of for fun. We went out to go kind of
Agate.
hiking and everything like that. But what you had to do was you had to find normal looking rocks and break them open to see if they had
It's like a geode.
the agate inside. Yeah, it was
it
kind of like a
kinda
geode. So we're looking around, and what you need to do is find a large rock that you break the other rocks on. You throw the rock onto that rock and break it. We found this beautiful breaking rock and everything like that. It was huge, it was flat, it was just perfect. Well, we had broken a few rocks, we didn't really find any agate and everything, and we were leaving, so we decided, hey, we should totally break our breaking rock. So
Because this whole time we've been smashing other things on it. It was like, it'd be just our luck if our
If
breaking rock
breaking
was
us.
an agate.
yeah, so we take it and I pick it up everything and we kind of walk it and we find this other nice big rock.
It was a lot bigger
It was a lot
than
bigger.
the one
and
we
everything.
had.
We're like, okay, this is perfect, everything. So I lift up the agate rock over my head and throw it down on the rock, and the rock lands on the bottom rock, shatters the bottom rock, and just sitting there on the top.
What the freak?
Yeah, and so I pick up the rock and look at the other one. I'm like, holy cow, our breaking rock broke the bigger rock. And I was just like, I
We just
left
left
it
it
there.
there.
I was like, I don't know if we can find another rock bigger than that
Well,
one.
you should have taken it with you as a memento. I think
Nah,
it's apparently
too-
kryptonite
it was
straw.
too big, but it was just like it was the last thing I expected. It was like classic, just. Well, that was unexpected.
I mean, it was like
I was
3
expecting
times the
something to happen,
size
and
of the
Of the
original.
Yeah,
wow.
And it
dang.
just shattered into like gravel.
I'm sure then that
It was-
rock's got to be something special.
For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, but not in this
Not in
case
this case.
because my reaction was
too
very
powerful for
yes.
you couldn't the only reaction was absolute giving up. Just, whatever, I'm done.
We kind of just stood there for a moment looking at it, though, like at the gravel.
I
and
was
well,
like-
damn.
I was like, did both of them break, or was it really just the one?
Did we see that right?
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's when he saw the rock lift up from flying to space.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, do you remember what happened immediately after?
Yeah.
That was your UFO.
Yeah, no, yeah.
They're
No,
inside, just like,
it was-
damn it!
It was a UBO, unidentified breaking object.
UO, unidentified,
Unbreakable
unbreakable
object, yeah. So, but yeah, the trip was fun. It's nice to get away every once in a while. Drive a 4-wheeler. I'm gonna get a dirt bike to take out there. It'll be nice.
Pretty cool. Dirt bike.
We always get good stories out there.
So,
So video games are addicting.
Yes,
which
they are.
one?
You know what's one I've been really playing a lot? Chain of Memories recently. Now, it's funny with Chain of Memories because
Like that's the
that's Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts one,
Yeah,
right? You've
that's
already
the
played
card
and
one.
beaten that many times.
I've beaten Sora's story once. I've never beaten Riku's story on that one.
What? Really?
I got to.
I would get so close. I got lucky beating. Your deck pissed me off, man.
Yeah.
Your deck made me
I
so
was
mad.
the champion.
I spent hours just to make
What
a
was
comparable
your deck? What
It was just
did
an
you do?
attack cloud deck, but it was the way I had it set up. I had like the
He
perfect,
was lucky.
I
He had the
perfect
right
with
cards that
elixirs,
I could
perfect
never
with ethers, and then I had this nice Bambi and Simba or Bambi and Tinkerbell that really helped. And then I also used
get. My thing was
Oogie
using a lot
Boogie
of
and
Simbas.
Jafar.
Hmm.
Genie Jafar, and so Genie Jafar made it so you couldn't break my card no
Yeah.
matter what, and so like I would start off with that, and then I would attack, and then they would try to attack and break me, and then I would make sure I attack again, and then they would try to attack and break me, but it wasn't
I think-
working.
I think I if I could have, like, were you level 100 or what level were you?
Oh yeah.
No,
Okay.
you weren't. That's
Was
what
I
pissed me
not?
off the most. I was, and I still didn't have as good a deck as yours.
Well,
Maybe not. Maybe it was something else. Maybe it was swords.
Cloud was what was killer. I had a ton of Cloud. cards.
100 versus 100 level deck, my strategy versus yours, I think I might be able to beat what you've described to me. Not 100%, but I had a pretty sweet strategy going.
I wonder if
What-
anyone even
what kind
understands
of
what we're talking
strategy?
about, because you
Yeah.
realize this is,
Well, I brought this
It's
up
an
for
older game too.
it's a
I brought this
slightly
up
older
for a
game.
specific reason.
You know, before the 3DS.
Yeah.
This is back before even the DS.
Was it? It wasn't.
This
Yeah,
is
it was a Game Boy Advance game.
Yeah.
Oh my
It was,
gosh!
and then they remade it for the PlayStation 2. But
Mhm.
you know what?
That's PlayStation 2.
It's in 1.5, and you can play it, and people have bought it, so it has a remake,
Some people,
a PlayStation
yeah.
3 remake. So some people will know. We'll discuss the
Only 90s
We'll
kids would
discuss the battle later, but I want to talk about what I was bringing it up for. Throughout the game, you fight the Organization 13
Mhm.
members, okay, leading up to the final boss with Marluxia, okay.
Mhm.
And so you fight Larxene, which is pretty easy. But then you fight Vexen. And Vexen's super annoying because he has that shield. And if you hit him from the front without card breaking him, then you
just hit his shield and you waste cards.
you waste a card. And then on top of that, every time he breaks your cards and throws out one card, it's like a 5. For him it's like a 3 attack 3-hit combo. And so I just hated Vexen, and you have to fight him multiple times. And it was like, I mean, I lost against him a few times. It was difficult. And then you get up to the final floor and everything, and you have to fight Axel. And whenever he throws out a card and it breaks you, his is like a 6-step combo that like takes out
Like a
all
single
of your
card.
life. A single card. And it's just like super annoying, super difficult. You know, I lost against him a couple of times. It took me like maybe 3 times to beat him. Super annoying, okay?
Mhm.
You know?
I can
I
agree
know
that's
what it's
annoying.
like because I remember that.
I still say though. So remember how many times I had to fight Nightmare the first time in the first Devil May Cry before I beat it?
Yes.
Well,
yeah. That's
That
definitely
gets
more-
frustrating,
that's
but I
definitely
know
more
what you mean.
But what makes
ah, you fool!
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was even completely different.
What makes Chain of Memories completely annoying, though, is that Axel isn't even the final boss, and he's super annoying. Then you go on, and you fight Marluxia, but you fight him in 3 forms. And the first form is super easy, but you find out it's just a copy of him. So you go into the final boss room, and you fight pretty much like his awakened form, which is super, super easy. And then all of a sudden it goes to a next form, like the final form,
Mhm.
which is even easier than that one. And so you're fighting places like Vexen and Axel, which are annoying as hell. And all of a sudden, the last 3-set boss is the easiest boss in the world. And I absolutely despise that. You know, I come from a world where the final boss should
Is
be
the
the
most
most
difficult.
difficult boss. That's why it's the final boss, you know?
Did you ever beat that Zelda game? The
Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword?
No, because Alan has my copy.
Yeah,
I
still
get the
play it.
Wii went
Have
with
any
Aaron.
of you beaten that?
Skyward Sword.
I'm the only one who's played it.
Oh my gosh. That same thing. Gira is so much more difficult.
Yeah, Girahim is so
than
much more difficult
the
than
final boss.
I
The
mean,
final boss
I-
pissed. I called Daniel right after I beat the final boss and was like, "This was bullshit."
Yeah.
Absolute. Because all I did was I was fighting, and the final boss was like, boom, and did this huge attack, and I was like, okay, so I've got to block that. And so I blocked it, and then I was fighting, and then he hit me before I could block again because I was doing it too early. And I was like, okay, so I need to just give myself some space, block, attack a few times, and when he starts getting ready, just wait for it and block again. So I do that, and I break him a little bit, and he does this thing, and I'm like, okay, so he's going to change his fighting form a little bit. And I was like, what would be the odds that he just attacks twice and I have to block twice? So I fight him, he goes to attack, I block, boom, boom, and start fighting. I was like, oh my gosh, you break him again 3 times.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming. You break him again 4 times, and then you win. I was like, this is the gayest thing ever. I'm sorry, it's not gay. This is the most homosexual thing ever. It made me so mad because I was Girahime. It was so difficult before that
And it
because
wasn't
he
even-
would block you a specific way,
And
and
you'd
you'd
have
have
to
to
hit
make
him
sure you hit
specific-
the sword the right
Well-
way. And I could never get the wee thing to do it right.
Levi, I don't know about you, but not even the Girahime before the final boss, but the very first time
You fight Girahime.
Oh my gosh, I've never been so frustrated with a Zelda game. It was just so annoying. So, but yeah, I mean,
I think a lot of games are kind of like that, though. Sadly.
Nowadays, well, I mean, Aaron, you've been watching some of that Combat Evolve game, right? On Twitch.
There's the Evolve game where it's basically it's like 5 players. There's a monster and then 4 like hunters that are hunting the monster, and the monster just goes around like eating things and like evolving, and its goal is to like either kill the hunters or kill the core, and then the hunters are just trying to like track it down
and it's
and
5
kill it.
people
It's 5
playing.
It's
people.
5 people playing. One's the
so-
monster, 4 are the people
and
searching
so,
the
like,
monster.
The people like not only do they have to like fight the monster, but there's other things in the forest that they have to like either dodge or fight, and there's like poisonous like swamps or something that they have to avoid, and like the monster, if he like moves too fast, like he'll like scare birds away, and so you can like
You'll
see
know
the
where
birds,
he
and so
is.
you can see, and then he'll like break branches and everything, so you can like follow him down. But it's a pretty cool game.
What's that for?
I think both
PS4 and
systems.
PlayStation. I mean PS4 and PC.
Xbox. Oh, and PC. Oh.
Yeah,
That's
at least I don't know. Those are the 2 I know of.
Okay.
But speaking of like different games, like I had the worst game of indoor soccer last Saturday, where like it was that day or the day before. Alan just tells me, "Hey, like you want to play soccer?"
That's the day before.
The day before, do you want to play soccer? And so I was like, "Yeah, whatever. I should be fine." And so the next day, I like didn't prep well, and then I like just like ate right before and drank a bunch right before
Oh,
the match.
man.
And so we go and everything. I'm kind of like, I always get nervous before like a competition thing, and so I already had like the butterflies in my stomach. And apparently, like, I have a really weak stomach now. As a kid, I didn't, but I get out there and like I'm just running around for a while, start feeling like really bad, like, oh man, I should have ate all that like Panda Express or something.
Not even that you were full, it's that you ate Panda Express beforehand.
And so I just like all of a sudden it all comes up
Oh,
into
dude.
my mouth, and like it's so
thing we're
much
not eating.
pressure, but I was able to house it, and so like I just kept it in my mouth until I was able to like walk off and like throw up into a garbage can,
Ugh.
and then like
I was there. I
Yeah.
can vouch
Balls
for
of
this
steel.
story.
and so I was like felt so bad because like that's disgusting. I don't know.
There's
I
like all
don't know,
these people sitting just in the
yeah,
bleachers right there
yeah.
because the garbage can was like, here's the garbage can. and here's the bleachers. So he just comes over and is like,
It was like
and everyone was like watching him
everyone
because he had
was
just
scared.
run off the field, and so everyone was watching
like,
him.
People
And he
like
just
didn't
was like,
understand like necessarily.
Oh my gosh.
And so I was like, okay, I feel a lot better actually at this point. And so I get back in there, and then I'm
I
like,
feel so much
and so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go out again. So I go out again, and like as I'm going out, I like trip, and I just totally face plant the ground
Yeah,
like, in front of everyone. And it was funny because I've already made a fool of myself once, and now like they just see this guy and I like because the person has to come out before you go, and I'm like, I'm good. Everyone's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And so I like, I'm like,
Sorry,
okay,
but done.
I need to go and do it. So
like I'm still not gonna sit this one out.
I go. I don't
You're
know if it
eating
was
your
the
own chunks.
I don't know if it was the second time or the first time I was out, but like I ended up scoring a goal, and then it happens again. Like my stomach starts feeling weird, and then I'm just like, I'm trying to push myself though, and so I'm like, no, I can keep it down. I can keep it down, and then all of a sudden, like, same thing happens again. It's just like all comes in my mouth. I hold it, and I just like this time I didn't even run. I just kind of like walked like I was really annoyed and like.
So everyone knew.
Yeah, like
it's like,
I
oh,
just
this
kinda
guy's
walked
not
out.
happy.
Now that, I mean, other than that was fun. Got my picture taken. Talk to new people, and like
Meet any girls?
no,
Not-
probably
There's
not
only
after
3
that.
girls
We
there.
grew up. Probably not.
I think all 3 of them were married too.
But what's funny is that it's indoor soccer is different than soccer, and like the refs were very like particular, and so like we were watching the game before ours, and the other team were being dicks, but like at first I thought like the team was being dicks to the ref, but then as we were playing, I was like,
Oh,
You
they had
know,
it right.
if I was still my competitive self and I didn't tell myself just to have fun, I would have been being a dick to the refs too, because they were just like, no matter what it was, and it was like dumb stuff or like.
There's one time like I reached forward to try to kick the ball and I wasn't able to keep my feet up, so I put my knee down on accident, and that was a penalty for us.
Yeah.
So like I didn't slide or anything. I just like reached forward and I stepped wrong, and so I had to land on my knee instead, or else I would have fallen forward, and that was a penalty.
And
You
I-
can't be on
Insert
your
visual
knees.
there.
yeah,
Nope.
I played aggressively in soccer. So the first time I was out, I was pushing. Well, I wasn't pushing them, but I was like really up in, and then they tried to like juke past me, and I put my foot out to like kick the ball around them, and I did, and then he called a penalty on that, and I was just, he's like, you can't reach for the ball if they're passing you or something. Like because it was like I was overextending myself or something.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
I didn't
these were rules.
I know.
It's because
Yellow
it's
card,
indoor.
reaching,
It's indoor.
double dribble.
Know your place.
Going after the ball.
Why is indoor different? Why?
Well, so there's no out for one.
Well, there's
So-
out.
If you hit like the net, which is like 10 feet,
Yeah.
but there's no
It's
out
kinda
on the
like
sidelines.
Hockey, soccer.
Yeah.
Huh.
And so like things get really like heated because people like push each other and everything and you can kick like all the way across from one side of the field to
and-
the other.
And it was funny because like I didn't hit the girl in the head, but in like our spar, like the ball like bounced and hit a girl in the head, and I like ran by with the ball and said sorry, and like just kept going, but like I could see, like I heard one that she was just like like
You,
are you
yeah.
not
Like
gonna
you-
like
Like
are
you were
not
being
gonna-
genuine,
yeah.
like sorry, but
And
she
then,
probably
like,
heard it like sorry.
everyone was just looking at the ref like, are you not gonna call that? And I'm like,
What did I do?
I didn't do anything. The ball just hit her. Like, that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
And
I
so-
got hit like 3 times.
Well,
It just happens that way.
so I just kept kind of like going steadily and dribbling, just kind of like watching the ref, like
Just
waiting
seeing,
for
is he
him.
going to
He's like,
call?
no.
Did anyone ask if you were like drunk? I mean, throwing up so much and falling on your face. I would
That's
assume
so
something was
funny.
off.
That's
Well,
That's kinda what I
okay,
was
so
starting
he
to
fell
think.
on his face because like the box going out, there's the wall and the door open, and there's like this like foot
really high step.
step thing, and it's not even a step, it's just part of the wall because everything's level, but you have to step over it to get out, and it's like, why would you build
And,
a
like,
door like
I-
that?
I had just barely bought these cleats, and so like the soles are actually like lower than you think because there's the spikes underneath, and so I just caught it. And just,
I face planted it, like I got the ball and I was all like ready and I was like kicking it, and then all of a sudden I stepped forward and the cleats must not have been used to it because I just face planted it and lost the ball, and I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done. I feel so stupid right now.
And then one more story I have was that I was driving to work, okay, and I take the outer lane on a turn, on a left-hand turn, okay, and this truck was taking the inner lane, okay, and so the light turns green, we both turn, and usually immediately I will look, signal, merge over, because someone could be turning right, who knows, because it's 3 lanes.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and I merged over. And then as I'm merging over, I noticed like the truck merge over where I was without even signaling. And so I kind of thought that put him on my radar where I was like, I need to start driving defensively at this point, because like
Because he's an idiot.
because like I don't know if he actually like checked and then he was just being a dick and not signaling, but whatever. And so I keep going, and so I'm driving, and I'm like pretty much, because it's a truck, I'm pretty much where the bed ends. Like that's where my car is. So like he's at like his truck head in front of me, and so I'm just going, and I was actually even like trying to like speed up, well, like just to get past him, and all of a sudden I just see him start like drifting over into my road, and so I slam on, I brake. I didn't really have to slam, but I brake, and he does one of these like pretend to go back in, but then he just like keeps going, and doesn't even signal, and so I like honk my horn at him, and then we get further up, and he turns into the turning lane, and it's a red light. So we're both there at the start, like at this red light, and so like I look over at him, and I give him the like he's looking at me like I'm an asshole, and I'm looking at him like he's an asshole, and I give him like one of these like, what's your problem, like, and so like he rolled down his window, and since mine's like our manual, it's so ridiculous because how I looked, I'm like reaching over, just like. so like I roll it down because I'm not scared of this guy, and like I don't even care if anything happened. And so he's like, he doesn't even like look Mexican, and he's got like his wife in the car, I'm pretty sure, or some girl, and he's just like, I forget the exact word, but like he's like, hey, you got a problem, essay? Like, just like that. He used essay. Like, what a douchebag thing to say. And then I was like, yeah, I got a problem. Like, you're being a douche and not, like, not looking, and you're not signaling. Like, you can't drive crazy. Like, you can't be, like, a crazy driver. Like, you need a signal. He's like, hey, you want to pull over here? Like, you want to turn over here and, like, tell me, like say it to my face? And I'm like, and so, like, I needed to get to work, but I told him, like, at the scene, I was like, you know what? It's not my job to beat some sense into you. So I'm gonna let, like, so like that's my problem. Like, that's your problem. Like, you need to not be crazy. I said like crazy like 5 times. I don't know why. I just kept going about. I was like, you're being crazy out there. You can't just be crazy.
I'm not gonna beat some sense in you. Just can't be crazy. You
crazy
ass crazy person.
But finally, like, it just turned green, and he just kept saying like, "Hey, you want like
you want to go?"
He wanted like to fight, and so finally it turned green, and I just like left. But I was like, you know what? It's his fault, because like if I would have just like done nothing, let him hit me, like.
He would never.
That's your fault. Those are the facts. So you shouldn't be mad at me because you just don't know how to drive.
Yeah, I don't understand people like that. It's one thing when like you've done something and they beep at you and everything like that, but it's a completely other one. They're the ones. I don't know about you, but this last
I've had moments where I get honked at. I'm like,
Dude,
yep, you're right.
Yeah.
That was my bad.
I've never once, like, when I've gotten a honk, like, I'm always like, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
I always feel
that's
bad.
right.
I'm like, shit, I'm the
Yeah.
person I hate.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, but it's few and far between.
Right.
It happens like once every
I know, right?
every 6 months for me.
Yeah, it's only once an hour.
But,
Well, for me, it's like, he's like one of those people that won't learn, like, doesn't want to, like, learn from his mistakes. Because I think the horn honky is a way to let people know that they did something wrong, and that in the future, they need to, like,
Need to
Not be
think.
Watch
crazy.
out for
Yeah.
that behavior.
Not be crazy out there.
It's funny, Eric, because if I was in your position, I might have actually pulled over, give him a piece of my mind, especially this week, because I was not.
Dude,
having
I
it.
would have like I almost like
You contemplated.
I
you're
was
like, it's all right.
contemplating like just like letting him like just beat me up or whatever,
Yeah, then you,
and then just calling the
Call the
cops.
cops.
Like I wouldn't care if I like got beat up if I sent someone like away. But then I was like, how would I explain to the
How
cops
could-
that like yeah I pulled over, got
To
out of
fight
my
him.
car, like
You don't have to. You
was
just
part
say
of the instigation.
you came. You pulled
You had
over
to pull
because
over
he
for-
said he
No,
needed
say,
help.
Say he followed you, okay? And when you pulled over, he got out and came up to you.
I'm not
and you're
gonna
like,
lie.
man,
to the
I don't
cop.
want any problem. But who are they
I'm-
going to believe?
I'm
who are
done
they gonna
doing that.
believe? Yeah, you're done doing that. That's true.
I'll never lie to a cop
Wait.
again.
Everyone knows that story.
I think so. Yeah,
We told
We
it.
told
Yeah.
on the podcast.
Yeah, but
it was
I.
a scary story.
Oh, you edited that one out.
I don't know.
I don't think Mom, Dad knew about that one.
Well, like
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
Mom's the
there.
one that like opened the door to the cops. He would have gone like I would press charge on that one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, those are the situations where I wish a cop was around. You know, if a cop had seen him moving into your lane while you were in that
Yeah,
lane,
without
that guy
seeing-
would have been pulled
'Cause, like,
over. You know,
legally, don't you have to at least signal for like
3
seconds?
seconds.
It's
Yeah.
2 now. They
Two-
moved it to
2
2
seconds.
Before
Either
you
way,
even
before
move.
you even moved, though.
And no one, I won't say no one, hardly anyone even does that.
I try to do it, or at least give like a 1 second warning.
Yeah.
If there's
I do
like
2 if it's busy.
if
there's
there's
like,
no
I do
one,
long.
yeah.
I've got it. I know I'm going to move over. I know after this car leaves, I'm going to be over there. So I'll flip it on when I know that the car isn't
It's
going
like-
to freak out and be like, ah!
exactly. People don't know to do that because I'll be driving and then they'll
You'll
just
turn it on and they'll be
No,
like, ah!
they'll turn it on, and like right when I'm there, I'm like, like if you would have just waited till I had passed,
Or like,
I
yeah,
would have
when
been
the car
afraid of
Or
you,
when the
like,
car is
when the
basically
car's
alongside you.
alongside you, you throw it on so that when that car passes, you move over. You
yeah,
know?
as long as they can't see.
You know what I hate though? I had this one. Okay, so the road was really slow, and I was trying to merge over, and like there's this decent sized gap, but I was like, the car coming up was like coming up pretty fast. And I'm like, oh, they'll probably slow down, and let me in. And they didn't. They just kept going, and then they stopped right next to me, so I could not merge over. And I'm like, what are you guys? You're
I hate
such dicks.
I
Like
hate
you
dicks
could have
like
just
that,
let
yeah.
me in. And so like I was like right at the end of the. So I wanted to try to get off the freeway, but apparently that lane was blocked from a crash, and so I didn't know that until I got like right there, and so I'm like trying to merge over so then I can merge back, and no one was letting me in, and I'm like, come on, people, what the heck's your problem? There's a curve right before we get here. It's not like I could see, oh, this lane is blocked. Let me go all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Well, you were just trying to be one of those people to, get to the front of the line. Those people weren't having it.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? Whenever I see those people who are just trying to get to the front of the line, there's
They
always
let
that
them in.
douchebag that lets them in.
Because they're going to the front because they're aggressive, and then once they're at the front, they just
Kind of force their way
force
in.
their way in.
Yeah.
I don't want to get my car scratched. That's one thing I want to try to do with this car is like
No,
Nothing.
no physical damage.
Nothing,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, me too.
until I sell it.
Just wear
Isn't
and
it a
tear.
little late?
It's not my fault.
Yeah,
But-
but it happens.
I know I asked a few people this, but like, if you had to go to jail for a crime, like whether or not you committed it or not,
You're going to
you're going.
You're
Either
going
way,
to
you're
jail.
going to jail for life.
Well, not,
No,
for
not for
life.
life, no.
Well, it could be for life, possibly.
Okay.
But like, you're going to jail. How many years would that sentence have to be before you would just choose to run? And if you choose to run, you make it to a non-extradition country, but you would just have to like leave everything and
Oh, wow.
you have to live there.
So basically, is
How many years should the sentence be for me to be like, I'm getting out as soon as I can?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter
And
what the
it's-
crime is.
It's a maximum
security prison.
security prison.
I'd try if it was going to be longer than 10 years.
10 years. Wow. Levi.
What if there was chances of rape in the prison?
Then there's also chances of me being beat up all the time because
but
nothing's
is,
touching my butt
is it
without
for a
me.
crime that?
But like,
it's
you don't think if people beat you up, they're just gonna like walk away at that point?
Yeah, I know how that would be.
Wait, so
I wouldn't take it lying down though.
you're gonna do it?
Like, I need to stand up for this.
Okay, so that was a good joke. So that was worth getting interrupted for.
Oh, did I interrupt you?
So it's gonna happen. So like, it's not that I necessarily committed a
Yeah.
crime. It's just I'm
that
going to jail. Like
for whatever
I
reason.
could not have, but I'm going to jail no matter. Okay.
The point is just like how unenticing.
What it had to be before you just decided to
Just
leave everything you had.
I'd say a couple years.
Two?
Two.
Two.
I couldn't do prison. I'd have such a. It depends, like what we're talking about with prison here.
I like how you're defending 2, and Aaron's like, if it was 30 days, I'd be gone.
Wait, like what?
'Cause-
Maximum security, but like no rape.
Well, it's not the. It's.
I like
Sadly,
that's the defining.
sadly,
That is the
going to
it's
prison
not
But-
the
behavior.
rape
but-
that's a problem. Like, I would hate that, but honestly, if I'm going to prison, I'm expecting it no matter how long I'm there. So
It's just part of the
it's
tour.
it's gonna happen no matter what is how
It's
I
a
see
pain
it.
in the ass, but it's gonna happen.
So I mean,
Okay, so that's not the defining staple for
but
you.
what am I gonna have to do? Do I just have to sit in my cell all day?
Yeah, you'll have to do
That's
prison,
it?
Prison
life.
No, you sit in your cell. You get
Go
yard
into the
time.
yard.
If you're good,
Can I
maybe
get
you
books?
you
Probably.
probably can.
Paperback.
It's not like very cool books. They're like
Crappy books.
semen infested, probably.
Oh my gosh,
you
what
can
the
get
hell?
Decent paperback books.
You really can?
Yes.
Okay. From
She
Amazon.
knows.
From Amazon.
I mean, I still wouldn't like it.
There
It
has
would-
to be humane treatment.
It would
Especially
drive
if you're
me
in
crazy.
Utah. You're gonna have better treatment.
Yeah.
than-
So,
I think-
so Alan's 2 years.
So 2 years?
I think if it was a crime I did not commit, but there was absolutely no chance of anyone like finding evidence to
Yeah.
indict me, or whatever that word is.
Indicted!
Acquit you.
Acquit. That's it. If there was absolutely no chance of finding evidence to acquit me, but I had not committed the crime, I think I would leave immediately.
Immediately.
If I didn't commit the crime, I would actually go to prison and plan my revenge the entire time. I was in prison.
That sounds
Okay,
like
Monte
Daniel.
Cristo.
The only
Did
problem
you
is,
did you stay 7 years?
He didn't really plan everything
I wasn't
in prison.
I wasn't saying it.
Did he really? He
It was
planned everything that he would do while in prison. He didn't even realize he was going to get
the
money.
though.
well, he didn't
Well,
realize
impressive.
how he
But
would
he
do
hoped
it.
he would. He
but-
knew the location.
No, he didn't know until
Not
the priest
until
died.
that guy died.
Yeah, priest said. Well, no, but he was planning, so he knew what he would have to do.
Yeah.
He knew
Like,
he wanted
he knew-
revenge.
He knew killing them
He
wasn't
knew
going to
that
be
the
enough.
king piece was going to be involved in
He knew.
No, he knew
wanted
he had to take
away-
everything from them.
Yeah,
the same way he.
He was
Well,
the Slade
and,
Wilson.
you know,
I was just thinking though. Cool.
And you know what? It's funny. It's funny that you guys brought that up because that's not where I got it from. I was just literally thinking of what I would do if someone sent me to prison for something I didn't do, which is
See, as
revenge.
long as I knew like I wasn't gonna die, I could put up with fights and no rape, and not. I don't want to die in prison. I would go 7 years, but if they're like gonna be raping me, like
in the butt.
in the butt.
But Aaron.
but
But
if they were, I don't know. I want to like, I want to say immediately, but like if I had to, like, I would say like 4 years at most. That's still bad. It's just like
You're just imagining, I will take rape for 4 years.
because like you have to like go, you have to leave and never come back, and like
Just let it go.
you have to pack up everything, start over, learn some new language probably, And who's got time for that?
Nobody got time for that.
Might as well
Might
get raped.
Get raped for 4 years.
I was sort of, like with you, Aaron, when I was like, but all of a sudden now I don't think your priorities are straight,
I'd rather get raped for 4 years than
Learn
learn
a
a
new
new language.
Start all
So
over.
hard.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a story.
Would you guys visit me though?
Oh
If I was on accident?
Are you still on
course
this?
I would.
I would be your psychological
Yay.
therapist at that point with all
Now that I have
I
my
would be
planner.
your conjugal visit, Aaron.
Now that I have my planner, I would schedule time for it.
Yeah.
If
Other
you're in
than that, I'd
maximum
probably play this
security,
game.
but if you're in maximum security with no chance of intercourse, I'm not saying
Whoa,
anything
what?
else. But if you're in maximum security prison with the guarantee of not being with another inmate, you probably can't have visitors. So you would have to choose visitors with extra or no visitors but nothing extra. A lot of them.
What we could do though for Aaron is get him like the stuff that everyone wants inside, and that way he's the popular one because he can get stuff.
Give
from
me the
people.
cigarettes.
Is
Yeah.
the popular
He's-
one or the
He's the one that can
most
get
likely
stuff.
to be
So
raped?
he'll be the one doing the raping at that point.
This is a horrible topic.
They
Would
would be
you-
willing though, Alan.
Would you rape someone in prison
No.
to ensure that you never
got raped.
or got violence?
I
So
would.
you're saying like
I would
asserting
beat up
yourself.
someone.
asserting yourself.
I would beat up someone. I might even kill someone. But I
Whoa.
don't think to protect
I might
myself.
kill someone, but I
Protect
wouldn't rape someone. I would end their life.
I draw
but
the
I
line at the butthole.
I meant in self-defense. Okay. I meant if they were fighting me and things like that, I wouldn't hold back, and if I accidentally killed them, I would have no qualms.
You would not assert your dominance over people though.
I would assert my dominance in the fact that I would want them to leave me all alone.
You're not gonna take their shit.
All right. Wow. Not lying down.
That was a good crack. Yeah, we make some good cracks. Okay.
We always like cracking jokes. Okay, so there's a story that I'm pretty sure we haven't told on the podcast that I want.
Anyone else think about the Brady Bunch right there? No.
It's a story.
Yep.
No, I want Aaron to tell us. Do you remember that time?
I love how that's how Daniel comes up with these things. There is this one thing I want to talk about. Aaron, do you remember?
And you
You're going to
get to
tell the
tell
story.
Well, I don't remember it as much as I'd like to think. The time you got that book signed at the mall.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Like,
remember what
what?
exactly happened, but I remember it was funny.
It was. I mean, it was kind of funny, but I was at the mall with like my mom and dad, and there used to be like those old antique like bookstores where you could just go in and like they have like books in display cases, and for whatever reason, like I didn't want to go into the store because like I didn't like how books smelled back then. They always smelled funny to me.
Like new books.
You're like,
Like paper.
Like pressed
Like,
paper.
toxic. But there was this guy who had like a book signing like stand like out front of the store or whatever, and I was just sitting on a bench opposite of it and like just looking in because like mom and dad were in there,
Mhm.
and I don't even know why they let me like be out there by myself because I was still a little ish, and so at least from what I remember. But anyways, I'm sitting there, and then the guy like he was like being weird, but like he's trying to like meet my gaze, and so I'm trying not to. But then one time I do it, and like it's like the deer in the headlight thing where you're just like,
You're just like-
hot, and
You just-
so he like motions me over, and so I'm like okay, and so like I walk over, and he was like asking me what my name was and just like a few questions, and then because I think the book was like something religious, and so I was telling him like, no, like, not. I don't know. I don't really know that, or like I'm not really religious and everything. And then he's like, "Well, I'm gonna sign this copy of this book for you, Aaron, and you can take it and you can read it, and then like hopefully it like changes your life or whatever." And so I take it and everything, and like the awkward part is that I just have to go back and like sit on the bench
With him still
with
there.
the book was still there. Like I didn't
So
even.
he's like staring at
Yeah.
you like, hey, read my
Waiting
book.
for
I
you.
didn't,
And now
I,
you have to
didn't,
read the
I
book.
didn't even think about reading it either. I was just like sitting there with this like green book, and like it was like nondescript, so I don't even know.
How he would know what
Well,
it
I didn't
was.
even know what was inside. Yeah, I didn't know what the book was, and then finally, like mom and dad come out, I'm like yes, and so I go over to them and they're like, where? They like I'm pretty sure at first they thought like I took the book or something, and they're like, where'd you get that book? And I'm like, I got it from that guy, like, and then we turned over and he
was
wasn't
gone.
there. No, I just-
Did you ever read the book? man?
I gave it to mom and dad, I believe, and then like I never saw it again.
We should,
Not to say that they like
we should see,
didn't give it to me, or
we
like
should
that's
see
what
if
I
they
remember
still
from
have
it.
it somewhere.
Wait, he really wasn't there anymore?
No,
No, he was.
Oh, okay.
So wait, he gave you the book for free?
Yeah, he gave it. To
Oh,
me.
I thought so I don't remember this story at all. So I thought like it turned out to be like one of those things where he
gave it
he
to
gave
you
it
Oh,
to you,
and he
expecting
wanted
you
money
to pay
from
it.
mom and
And
dad.
it's like that was such a cheap move on his part. Why would he give a book to a kid and then expect the parents to pay for it? It's like, oh, I already signed it.
Excuse me. You owe me $100.
Oh, wow.
I already
I
signed
did
it.
sign
I
the
can't
book.
give it to anyone else
Yeah.
unless I find
Find
another Aaron.
It's not like I could find that. I mean,
If
how
it
did
was
you
a
choose
Muhammad, maybe.
this? Muhammadly.
What you need to do is you need to go and see if mom and dad still have that book. Look in it, find out who the author is. Go and look online, see what the author's doing now.
Like,
See if that
the
book
is
is worth anything.
Yeah.
It's signed by him, you know.
Yeah, you probably was the only one who got one. 'Cause she wasn't be nice with anyone else. Why would he wave a little kid over if he was getting so many people? Look.
Because he owns a white van.
That's what I was expecting the story to turn.
I was like, did he offer you candy
Like,
too?
yeah, it's like, then we were walking out of the mall together, and
Ugh.
mom and dad came running, and
They're like, what are you doing, Aaron?
it's like, he said he had candy in his van.
I had one of those moments.
Ooh, scary.
It was.
I
Now that
hate
I think about it, I wasn't scared. I was like, dude's gonna show me something cool in his truck.
It's like, that's a good. Oh, hey, I got
It's a
something
common
cool in the
occurrence.
trunk. Do you want to look in there? Yeah, here, let me go open it real fast.
Do you remember Dane Cook?
A box spring mattress.
I
He's like, he would have been the easiest. He's so glad no one tried to, because he would have been the easiest. Like, hey kid, do you want candy? Yeah, I want candy. All right, yeah, come follow. Actually, no, I don't have candy, but I do have a bike. A bike? Yes, a bike. Where is it? It's in the back of the van. Where's the bike? He's like, no, it's back of my house. And he sits in. We'll drive the van.
Turns into a monkey.
Dude, I remember like
Where the hell's that?
during Halloween, mom and dad would be like, now don't go into anyone's houses. But then like one street like had gotten all together
And they
and
had
were
it
in
the
a house. And I was so hesitant to go in there, even though there was a ton of people. But like everyone was doing it, so like I like gave in to peer pressure, and I just went in the house, got myself.
I
a
felt
hot
like that's a
dog.
really bad idea. Like, I understand the want to like have everyone communally meet in one
Yeah.
house, but then
But on a night like that, where
Where
your parents are
yeah,
already
we're
worried,
telling you like not to go in the house.
you're like, yeah, this seems legit.
Well, I know the house that you're talking about, and
Yeah.
they were like high members of the church.
That's
and so
right.
for the rest of the neighborhood, you
lived
guys
in
thought
that
it was
neighborhood.
sketchy, but I totally knew them and was like, hey guys, see you on Sunday. Thanks for the candy.
yeah, see that was one part of that neighborhood that like everyone looked at us like we're super sketch, even just because we didn't go to church. But
I
we
don't
were
know.
actually really nice
I don't know if it was
kids.
just that, because that was during your emo phase.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why.
No, that is,
Right.
which is hilarious
Because
because
Alan's skateboarding down the street, flipping off trucks.
Flipping off people that
hey,
he's
he
on their
almost
turf.
ran me over.
Hey, what you guys doing
Going
on
on
turf?
I was
Yes.
emo, but nothing happened in the neighborhood. It's not like I did anything except for egg that guy's house that one.
It's not like I did anything but deface property.
Just that one time.
It was the same guy who almost ran me over.
We've told the story, but
And-
that's hilarious.
What the last thing I write down is the dress.
Oh my
no.
Because
god.
I couldn't
No.
go without bringing this up. Because I am just more evolved than you guys.
No.
So it needs to be
Based on
brought up.
Kylie's article, seeing
that's not
colors,
true.
being able
Alright,
to see
alright.
colors more
Olivia.
vividly.
No, actually,
Olivia.
I'm glad you bring it up.
I'm able
What
to
is this?
perceive.
You haven't seen it yet?
Did
I
I
haven't
show you
really
the dress?
seen it. I've seen the jokes about it.
I
but I
showed you
haven't
the
really
dress.
seen
I hope
didn't
you're
I?
evolved
Okay,
like I
no.
am.
So let me explain it. What it is someone
In case
took
you
a,
haven't seen the internet this last week.
someone took a picture of a dress, okay, and the dress is originally a certain color, but when they posted it online, they noticed that the picture isn't displaying the color correctly. So they started sending it out to other people and saying, "Hey, what color does this look like to you?" And you ended up getting
Like
half
half
the
people
people
would say
saying
it looks like this.
it looked like one color, which was the correct color, and the other half saying it looked like a completely different color, which turns out not to be the correct color. And it ended up going everywhere, ended up being a big, huge thing. So Alan's going to show you the dress. You tell him what color it is.
Switched.
I'll say it right at blue and black.
Oh my god.
It switched.
Let me see it again.
It switched.
I see white and gold.
Do you see white and gold on that
Yeah.
picture?
What do you see?
Switched.
To
white
what?
and gold.
It was white and gold this morning, and now it's blue black.
What is it?
I still see the lavender and gold.
Let me see. Nope. Yeah, blue gold.
Maybe
or
it's
blue black.
distance.
I know exact. I can only see blue black. I can't see anything.
I've
else.
never
I've
seen,
seen-
anything other than white
I've
and
seen
gold.
people take them. The thing for me, like you're literally seeing white and gold
I've-
right now.
I swear to anything that is
You're
like
seeing that.
anything.
Those two colors.
Essentially.
White in the wall ish.
No, it's more like
Well,
I mean it's kind of like it's
See,
the
for
gold
me,
though.
someone
It's like a
someone
brown
said like a
gold.
joke
A
with that,
brownish gold.
saying, "Oh, Pokemon's gonna have a new one, white,
White
gold,
gold
and blue black."
Yeah.
And I was like, "This one is blue black, and this one's white gold." I saw it opposite
Well,
on that
what-
picture.
What it is you can, with the photo, the way the photo like lighting,
you know the person.
you can change
No,
the
I'm
photo
sorry.
lighting, and you can make it look white and black, and you can make it look black
Figures,
and blue.
yeah.
But the original picture they saw has some kind of scientific reasoning why some people see it white and gold, some see it
It's because the way that certain sites that I read articles from explained it is that based off of the glare in the background, your brain is interpreting that glare as a lot of sunshine. And so your eyes are overexposing the dress in your head.
Hmm.
And so that's how it's coming out white gold. But if your brain isn't processing the overexposure with the flash against the shiny thing in the background, you're seeing it for what it was.
I wonder
which
if
was
it
blue and
depends
black.
on what lighting you're in the room
part of
at
it
the time
too. Yeah, because they said if your eyes are dilating or
Although
Because when I
it's
saw it
white,
at work,
gold.
I have the sun coming directly through a window right there, and so that might have been why it was switched on me. But yeah, interesting.
It's funny because everyone like blue and black, white and gold. I literally see like a lavender part
And
where
brown.
the blue and like a brown. And no one's saying anything about the lavender and brown. And I want to know what I'm seeing, why I see it that way. I've never seen it black and blue. I've never seen it white and gold. I've always seen it lavender and brownish gold.
I still don't remember what the gold is supposed to be.
gold is black,
Gold is black,
blue is white.
blue is white.
So
There's
the
that how
rim is black, supposed to be black or gold, and then the main body is either blue or white.
Is that inverted of black and blue? Like is
No.
white is gold and white?
It's funny too because the person who
So
made
the
the
white
dress
is
is
blue.
now going to be
Yes.
making a white and gold
White
one
is to
just
blue.
because of that.
Okay.
Because she
As
doesn't
gold
have
is
a
to
white.
black.
How can blue turn to white?
Exactly,
That's
that
my
blows-
problem. Like, cause it is blanco. For everyone out there,
Es azul.
I guess I could learn a new language.
It's
See,
still
that's
very
so hard.
difficult.
Not such a pain in the ass, right?
Yes. Me culo.
Oh man.
No, it's
Nah, but we
strange how that blew up. I read so many funny articles.
I hate it.
on that.
We're trying to become an internet company. I mean, for all of you listening, we try to bring you as many cool things as we can think of, and it just hasn't caught on like I wanted it to. And then this stupid dress overnight is all of a sudden a worldwide sensation.
It's like
Everywhere you
Gangnam
go.
Style.
Yeah, but
It
Gangnam
happens.
Style was
Gangnam
at least
Style wasn't,
entertaining.
overnight either.
That's true.
Gangnam Style took time for it to grow momentum. The dress, somebody on Facebook literally posted it, and then an hour later, all of my friends had posted it on Facebook. It was
by
my
the
whole
very
wall.
next day, was the day we went to Wingers, and all of a sudden they had the
I know.
buckets for it, and
Is it white gold
everybody
or
else
gold?
had it, and everything like that. It was just so fast, something so simple. Boom!
That's
so
what it is. That's
cool.
what it takes. That's what people. The reason that those things explode is because it's short, simple, and concise.
Yeah,
Well,
That's
yeah.
just the point.
What
But
do we
crazy.
have?
'Cause that's
We
what I was-
have an hour and 15-minute podcast.
I'm not talking about
That's-
podcasts.
I
Those
was-
are secondary.
Yeah, I was like looking at the views on our episode so far, and basically the average watch time is 2 minutes. So anything past 2 minutes, we're losing like
really?
a lot of people. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, the average run time of like watching was 2 minutes for like episode 4, and I think
So they didn't watch past.
Well,
2
there's
minutes?
some that watched all of it, and then some that watched maybe like a few seconds, and so that's created the average. Or there's some that just watched half. But,
Well, a few of those would be me going into the episode to embed it in
Yeah,
the
there-
website.
There are probably a few different like outliers that like people who click on it but then don't watch it, and it doesn't. It starts
Yeah,
like a
and
second
here's
or
the thing.
two.
Here's the thing. I understand, like with the machinima as well and everything like that. But that's what the Pokawettes were for. That's what the Geek Tiles were for. The Zelda wedding, things that people could come and see.
now that
you
we
know.
have like the camera, though, if we make more movies or stuff like that, we should maybe do
Now we have a house too. So.
Yeah.
house.
We got some stuff.
A montage.
It
of
just,
remodeling.
it just drives me nuts that
Don't worry.
we can't have just that simple, awesome thing to get us on the map.
Maybe we will
We
one
will
day.
one day.
Every company does.
That's the way you gotta look at it.
I think
Mhm.
what'll do it for us is something like a singular, amazing cosplay. It has to be an image. Movies take time. Music takes time. I don't think people want to invest time in something unless they for sure know that they like it. So
Yeah.
we need an image that will catch, like a cosplay or a
Yeah, I
makeup
think if we do
or a
like
geek tile or
if
a
we make
Pokeweed.
really good cosplays and we do like a really good photo shoot, I think that could be something that
Yeah.
fits it.
Money's the issue.
Vegeta.
Yeah, we want to make you Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah, I
Vegeta,
remember.
okay.
I remember talking about it. I'm so down.
And the cat guy from Log Horizon, if we could get that one down, that one could get us on the map.
Impossible.
She's already
It's gonna be
working.
tough.
She's already working on making a mold of my face. It's pretty cool.
That was
I
so
love that. A mold of
disappointing.
my face.
I
My
was so
face.
sad.
House.
Because-
Face.
So, like, to make the mold of Daniel's face, the alginate that you use has to be, like,
One part.
it's like 4 parts alginate to 1 part water
Mm-hmm.
by weight.
Daniel
and
has a
I
big
don't have
head.
a
Have a
minute
scale.
scale to do it by weight. And so I was like eyeballing it and like weighing it with my hands, like how much alginate to how much water, and mixing it and hoping it would work. Well, it came out too wet when it dried enough to come off of his face, but it was still too wet. And so it tore and it had a bunch of bubbles.
Oh.
And so even if I fixed the tears, Daniel would have had like really bad acne if I had cast it. It was so disappointing.
Aw.
So we need to redo it. But
We have a scale.
Are
Little
we?
mini scale.
Yeah, and
Are you
Stuff
sure
that
it
we
wasn't
got.
like actually spot on?
Yeah, because there was only like a rip across his eyebrow and by his lip.
My scars.
Sorry about those.
Ooh, guys, so really cool thing. With our big open garage, I was thinking of making armor and fake swords, like foam swords and stuff, that we could like practice fight with in the garage.
I'm so down to do
Yeah,
any sort of
right?
like fighting.
And the armor thing would be cool in two ways, because I could make it look really cool as like a cosplay project, but then it would also help kind of defend us a little bit, so we could go a little more all out with it without really doing damage to people.
I want that bar thing in the air.
Yeah, we could probably do that too.
Insert visuals there.
I'm
Yeah.
so
I was trying to think to myself, would you have known what that reference was?
Are you watching Arrow 2?
No, I'm just
Oh, he's just
I'm just happening to
understand.
sit in the
things,
chair.
yeah.
And
I'm
listen
actually
through
loving the
episodes.
arrow. I looked up the bow he uses in the second season. It's apparently a recurve combo hybrid, or recurve compound hybrid, which apparently only one company makes him, and it's the same company that made the bow for the arrow for the show, and they are like super expensive,
How much
but
are they?
like the one that's used on the show is like $1,400.
No, that's not so bad.
The cheapest one they had was $765.
How much money do you have to blow on a bow?
Dude,
I don't have any money, but I was
that's probably
expecting.
like
a
the
katana.
pinnacle of like cross
Bowmanship.
of like compound bows, and
Mhm.
so like if you got a pinnacle of like a gun,
A katana,
it would cost
and not even a
about, so-
pinnacle katana.
See,
It costs like $5,000.
I am gonna like start putting aside like maybe $25 a month and slowly save, and I'm gonna try to get one of the ones that is
Are
used
you
on
gonna
the
go
arrow.
bow hunting?
No, just for fun.
Just,
Is
you know,
there a
we need a
point to
centerpiece.
this?
just to put it in a glass case to never be touched.
Yeah.
Well, no, like I
exactly.
want to. So I like
Nice
going
piece.
to. I like going to Salt Lake Archery and shooting, and it'd be fun. Maybe
Yeah.
one day I would like to
You
go
show up there,
bow hunting.
that compound bow, all the honeys.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll just.
I'll
bring a
one
green
girls
hood with
They'll be
me.
like, oh,
How many girls
I
are
could-
really there?
I could take it to Comic Con
dude.
and
Yeah,
actually,
Because it's a legit weapon. They wouldn't let you
Yeah,
take
they
that
would
in.
not let you take that
even
in.
without arrows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they wouldn't.
Ah,
That
damn
would
it.
not be allowed in.
That's sad.
That's when you tell them that it's not really. It's fake.
But I could use it for cosplays.
Cosplay
For
photo
photo
shoots.
shoots,
Yeah.
Indeed.
Plus, it would be fun.
Indubitably.
I think I'm just
Oh.
gonna like take a small amount of time or a small amount each month and put it aside and save for it.
Well, once I pay off my credit card, we got some cool things we're gonna buy Kylie for makeup
So-
stuff.
No, we can do this off the podcast. But I was just gonna say, like, are we gonna be like, are we going to like take a bigger amount so we can like have extra past the house loan?
We
Like,
can't. You can't do
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
But-
Unless you have a specific reason you're asking for the extra money, and it has to be like a very
Model.
legitimate. No, that's
No,
not.
a good
That's
reason.
not a reason. I asked the same
Okay.
thing back when we were trying to buy our other houses, because it would be because we could
That
afford
would be
it.
Cool,
You know,
yeah.
get like an extra $10,000-$15,000 for
use
some
that money
remodeling.
just for remodeling.
Yeah,
Put it
but,
all in the kitchen.
but
Kitchen
here's the
carpet.
deal. Here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Some of the closet
If-
doors.
What's the deal? Tell me the
Closet-
deal.
Yes, closet doors. too.
If we save up money, we can get a business loan for like $15,000. We'd only need 30% down, and we could just pay it back gradually. So, like, let's say we wanted to get a $20,000 loan,
Wait, why a business loan though?
so we could get it through the
Because
business.
you can't really get a
Oh.
15,000 personal
But
loan.
then if like the company ends, wouldn't that be like assets of the company in our house?
Once we pay off the loan, though, we'll be fine.
Well, but if we pay off the loan,
But like if we put it down as like asset,
I mean, here's
That's
the deal,
true,
though.
you're
Here's the
right.
deal, though. When the company ends, if we still owed them, you liquidate the assets. If you can't liquidate the assets because they're part of a structure that you use for work, then you just have to find other ways, or you don't.
do it. But like,
You
let's.
just don't do
Okay,
it.
well,
No, so there was a company
Hold on.
that I did business for at Simply Mac that went down, and they owed us 10 grand. We're not getting any of it
What?
Did you
Why?
strip the copper wiring?
because they had already just
They-
disseminated and what the company was worth and paid off the most that they could, and after that,
Do
It
you,
wasn't
do you
anything
know
else.
how credit works? When someone goes bankrupt or a company fails, they pay off the most pressing ones first based on what the things are, and then if people don't get paid, they don't get paid. They just have to write it off. But if we
Sounds
saved
right.
up $6,000 for a down payment, we could get a $20,000 SBA loan, which if we default on that, SBA will pay it instead of them coming after us, and we could do some remodeling and stuff like that as a business loan.
So if you 6,000, you would get 20,000. Is that what you said?
It would, we'd get a $20,000 check, and it would be a but we'd only be paying back 14,000 because we had
Plus
put a
interest.
6,000. Yeah, we had put a 6,000 down.
How much do you think it would cost to like fully remodel the garage thing?
For everything, if we're getting heating
Okay.
and everything,
Electricity.
We would have,
and stuff,
yeah, we have to like
Electricity, heating
insulation,
and everything like that.
Drywall, paint,
Doing the whole thing,
supplies.
I mean, that could take 20 to 30,000 for what we want to do with the garage. Maybe.
Really?
I
Oh,
think so.
wow.
I think
How
because
much did our basement cost?
the basement. But here's another thing: to get the heating and air conditioning device is about $10,000. For the thing. So you got to
I guess
have
if we
that.
get a
this is all the talk afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry for
All
that
right.
boring part.
We'll get to
We'll
That
go
wasn't
ahead.
boring.
Okay. Yeah. You guys will
was
see
for them.
while we do it ourselves. We'll do videos and stuff. You guys can see the awesome change that this garage goes through. We'll do before and after pictures. But if we get to the point where even if we're not making money as a company, but all of us are financially stable enough that we can continue to pay a loan that we get for the small business, we could do that then. Anyways, I think this is a good spot as any to finish the podcast. So once again, this was the WerePanda
podcast.
featuring. No.
Say featuring.
Featuring?
Daniel.
Levi.
Alan.
I sounded like that.
Aaron.
And Kylie?
Woohoo!
I
All
sounded
right.
like that, Aaron. The
He
name.
sounded like that, Aaron. And by the way, parting note.
No,
No,
black and blue,
no,
black and blue.